Breaking news, Dolphins fans. The Miami Dolphins have made a signing. Yes, you heard that correctly. In the form of Marcus Maye. It is a safety. We've talked so in depth about Miami and Chris Grier adding another player to that room, and they do it in the form of Marcus Maye, the veteran, the former New Orleans Saint. First report coming in from Andrew Schultz. But this is why, Jordan Shcultz. My goodness, thinking of the comedian. Jordan Shcultz, the NFL insider. But make sure you are subscribed to the channel because we're going to have you covered with everything surrounding the Dolphins. Breaking news happens, I get you a video. So hit that sub button. #1 place to get your news and rumors surrounding the Miami Dolphins. But no contract details are in just yet, but it seems like it's likely going to be a one-year deal on a relatively cheap contract for Miami. And this makes a lot of sense, but the part that is kind of a killer to me, and we'll start with the negative and then get to the positives, I suppose, is that no Justin Simmons to Miami, because I don't see the Dolphins adding another safety to this roster. They needed to add a third one alongside Jevon Holland and Jordan Poyer. That was very clear. We thought it was going to be Simmons. He was the best option available, but they end up going with Marcus Maye due to maybe other circumstances. Maybe Simmons didn't want to come to Miami. Maybe that Maye really was just the best possible option for the Dolphins. But either way, they add another piece to this secondary, and this is going to be a good piece. Like, he's not the most productive player. He is up there in age. He's played 4 or 5 seasons with the Jets prior to the last 2 in New Orleans. He's been around the block 7 seasons. He's 31 years old. Like, this is not someone who's going to be making a massive impact, but this is what we could come to expect as a third safety. Like, even though Justin Simmons was being preached on the channel, it was a pipe dream, I wasn't going to sit up here and say, like, that's what exactly the Dolphins needed. Like, just need someone to fill a role, can help mentor. They did draft the 6th-round safety, Patrick Morris, out of Cal, hoping that he's probably going to be able to provide some nice things for the Dolphins defense. So you get Maye in here, Poyer, 2 veterans, 1 young stud in Holland, get to mentor McMorris a little bit. You still have Elijah Campbell as well as that 4th safety, and I wasn't in on him being the 3rd safety for the Dolphins, but now that he's safety 4, I can get a lot more comfortable with that. McMorris will be your 5th guy, or probably maybe on the practice squad, or one of the UDFA's guys, and Mark Perry or Colbert could maybe make a push for a roster spot. Maye has kind of declined over the past couple seasons, only played in 10 games in 2022, only 7 in 23, so he has not got a lot of PT as of late. 60 tackles in 22 with 2 PBUs and no interceptions, but last season for the Saints in 7 games, he had 2 interceptions. 2 PBUs, 37 tackles, 3 TFLs. This is not someone who's going to be uber productive, if I'm going to be honest. But either way, we have to show love to the newest Miami Dolphins. So spam those MMs down below. Marcus Maye, newest member of the Dolphins. Spam the MMs to show the new guy some love. Now, I am still waiting to find out, we're coming here right on the spot, on who the Dolphins are going to be cutting as they sign Maye, because if my calculations were correct, due to some other minor signings to the roster, they were at a full 90, which means they have to get someone off the roster to bring Maye in. And I just don't know who that would be just yet. We'll keep you updated, and if it comes in during the video, I'll have it there, or I'll have it on my Twitter at Nick_Rohloff if you haven't already followed me. Yeah, but either way, to kind of continue this conversation, because it's going to be hard for me to try to spin Marcus Maye having a monster impact. It's just a depth signing. It's a good one because they needed it, and now we can eliminate that discussion of the Dolphins still needing a 3rd safety. If you remember, since I've taken over the channel and really had my thoughts on this Dolphins offseason, it's always been 3 team needs: offensive guard, 3rd safety, interior defensive line help along Zach Sealer. Well, they've already figured out one of the 3. So there is no need for us to talk any safeties for the rest of the offseason. Unless Poyer, Maye, or Holland get hurt in the next 3 to 4 weeks or early in training camp, I just don't see a way the Dolphins sign another safety this offseason. So we're all set there. And I appreciate Marcus Maye, and he wanted to be part of a Super Bowl contender. And Jordan Shcultz even had the note that Maye had multiple teams interested, but Maye loved the Dolphins roster and believes they can win a Super Bowl and wants to compete with them. So that's good to know that Maye chose us and wanted to come here over some other potential suitors that were pursuing him. But let's shift this conversation for the back portion of today's video to what could the Dolphins do next? Because the cap space they got from Xavier Howard gave them about $18 million in cap, but guess what? It's not going to prohibit them from going out and doing anything else. This Maye contract isn't going to be more than $4 million this season. Like, think about it. OBJ got $3 million. Like, there is no possible scenario where Maye commands more than that. So there's still going to be, let's say, $16 million left to do. And then when you account for the 2 signings of Patrick Paul and Chop Robinson, which haven't came through yet, the 2 top picks for Miami, now we're sitting around still $8-9 million in all likelihood for the Dolphins to spend this offseason. So yes, will they carry some of that money into the regular season due to, just in case they have to take money back in trades or have to sign someone due to an injury during the regular season? Sure. But there is still enough space to go out and grab another position of need, whether it be a Calais Campbell, whether it be a Yannick Ngakoue, if you want to get some depth edge or depth at the edge position. You can still go out and get an offensive guard, aka Greg Van Roten or Roten, like one of the 2 needs for Miami can still be filled in this free agency period. So even though they signed Marcus Maye, and I like the signing, it's a good signing, there is still a lot of room for improvement on this roster. No roster is going to be perfect. Nobody's going to have a perfect 22 starters, 11 on offense, 11 on defense. It's not going to happen. But what Maye gives you is depth, and I think you can go out and still grab a guy like Van Roten if he's okay coming into Miami. He wants to come to the Dolphins. Chris Grier's interested. Let's wrap that up. Like, I'm being serious. Like, let's try to just get this roster completely full. Get your right guard, who is projected to be the starter, and Van Roten in free agency potentially. You can let Robert Jones, you can let Eichenberg, Jack Driscoll fight to be that second guy. But let's sign Greg Van Roten and let's go win a Super Bowl, because you got the one need in safety with Marcus Maye. I'm fine letting interior defensive line slip, because out of the 3 team needs that I mentioned, I think interior D-line was the last one. I had safety 3 at number 2, and then offensive guard at number 1. So if we can get an offensive guard now, we will golden and we will be set and ready to ride in the regular season. But you let me know who the Dolphins should sign next. They got their 3rd safety in Marcus Maye. Shout out to Maye, who's had an excellent career in New Orleans and New York. And now it's time to go get an offensive guard. And if you're with me, drop a name down below. All right, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, because like I said, I'm covering you on everything surrounding the Miami Dolphins, news and rumors. So hit that sub button and join us for the rest of the offseason, because we'll have you covered up until training camp. And then when watch parties roll around during the regular season, going to be pumped up, fellas. Let's go win a Super Bowl. Let's get the history done. I'll see you tomorrow with a live show, by the way. So make sure you join us then, too. Peace out.